You have just bought a new yoga mat and you cannot wait to roll it out and get on it for the first time. Maybe you have invested in a more expensive one for the first time and are expecting great things. You get down on all fours, spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes and press back into your first down dog, but wait. What? Your hands are slipping, and you haven't even broken a sweat yet. Often yoga mats are coated in a thin surface film from the manufacturer. This is to help the mat release from the mold after production and to keep the mat from sticking to itself when rolled up in transit and storage. This is less of an issue with rubber mats and TPE mats, but it generally means that just like a pair of brand new shoes, it's quite normal for brand new mats to need to be broken in before they get that grippy surface you were expecting. This can be a long and tiring process, so I have compiled a few tips on how to fix a slippery yoga mat. Do practice. The best way to break in your mat is, of course, to use it. Depending on the intensity and frequency of your practice, the process can take a little while, but it is without a doubt the best way to break in a new mat. My mat has little lines and wear from where I press down my hands and drag my feet most often, and it is what makes it mine. I love that it would look completely different if someone else had moved on it for a while. Leave it out. A good way to fake a few weeks of practice is to just leave the mat out on the floor for a day or two. Put the mat in a busy place in your home, where everyone moves around quite a bit, maybe on the floor of the kitchen while you're cooking dinner or in the kids' room while they zoom around. This will have lots of feet running over the mat and give it that broken-in feeling a lot quicker. Just give it a good wipe down to clean it afterwards. Be humble. See this new mat as an opportunity to practice as a beginner, whether or not you are one, and take extra care to press your fingertips into the mat and distribute the weight from the wrist and into all 10 fingers. Yoga practice requires a lot of strength in the wrists and hands, and for a lot of us who spend hours in front of a computer, this is not natural, so see your new mat as an opportunity to build some strength. Take breaks when you feel like it is too strenuous on the wrists and forearms and enjoy the process of making this brand new mat your very own. Clean. Simply cleaning your mat will help break down the thin film. Use an organic mild detergent or a mat cleaner and a non-scratch sponge to wipe down the mat. Make sure you let the mat dry completely before you roll it back up. Machine washable at 30 degrees machine wash. A lot of mats like thin travel mats and sticky mats can actually be machine washed. Always check with the brand before you do so, but if the mat can go in the washer, a quick cycle without soap can be a great way to begin to break down the thin film that makes it slippery. Make sure you hang your mat and let it dry properly. Depending on the climate, this can take several days. Salt scrub. Some brands do not recommend using anything other than water to clean the mats, but if you find that your mat is slippery, a quick scrub with some salt can mimic a few days of wear and use and speed up the process of breaking in the mat. Spread some sea salt on your mat and give it a good scrub with a wet cloth. Give the top where your hands are often planted a little extra TLC. Make sure you check with the supplier and research your specific mat, as a salt scrub is not a good option for some materials. Don't use harsh chemicals. Often yoga mats are made from at least partially natural materials, and harsh chemicals will not only break down the film, but could potentially harm the actual mat and cause damage and discoloration. For some materials, certain essential oils can even be too harsh and damage the surface of the mat. Make sure you check with the brand on your specific type of mat before using any chemicals or products on it. Use sandpaper or hard bristles. This is simply just unnecessary, as the film on the mat is so thin and can easily be worn down with much lighter methods, and you risk damaging and scratching up the actual mat and not just the film on the surface. Give up. It's worth it, I promise. See also, the Yogamatters Yoga Mat Guide. Emma is a marketing assistant from Denmark at the Yogamatters head office.